20 minutes of useless information about Fallout 4. In the beginning of the game, the newscaster on the TV will read a segment on local baseball news and begin by saying,
"Something that is unquestionably, inescapably American,"
which President John Henry Eden also says on the Enclave radio in Fallout 3.
I've been thinking quite a bit lately about something we can all relate to. Something that is unquestionably, inescapably American.
Another cool detail that the newscaster mentions is the opening of Vault 76 the previous year.
Since debuting Vault 76 last year, in honor of America's tercentenary, Vault-Tec continues to expand with plans for well over 100 vaults around the country.
When switching Professor Goodfeels, the Mr. Handy wandering around the Sunshine Trading Co-op, to guard mode, he will start saying,
"Exterminate! Exterminate!"
a reference to Daleks from the Doctor Who series, where they also keep saying,
Exterminate!
Did you know that when you first wake up in Vault 111, you can collect all the bottles there and fill them up with purified water from one of the sinks? This will only work though if your difficulty setting is on survival mode. If you get banished by the Institute before convincing Dr. Lee to join the Brotherhood again, you will actually have another option to recruit Professor Scara instead to help rebuild Liberty Prime.
I've been sent by the Brotherhood of Steel to ask for your help.
How very interesting. I wasn't aware that you people ever asked for anything.
Afterwards, she will stay on to help keep the Pridwin running.
Hopefully I can bring some order to the chaos up here on the Pridwin. It's much more interesting working up here than scouring the Commonwealth for robot parts. There's plenty to fix aboard this ship. How did it ever get in such a state?
Inside Union's Hope Cathedral, there is a hostile ghoul by the name of Father Gabe wearing preacher clothes and fighting several feral ghouls. This is a reference to a character from the Walking Dead series named Father Gabriel, who survives the zombie apocalypse by hiding inside his church until the main character finds and rescues him. Almost all of the companions from the base game have unused voice lines, reacting to super mutants wearing sailor hats.
Either I'm having a bad chem flashback, or those mutants are wearing sailor hats.
Since Bethesda never implemented them wearing these hats, we also never get to hear these funny comments.
Who'd have thought super mutants fancied a bit of dress-up?
That's not normal super mutant behavior.
Your new Coast Guard is quite strange, I think.
What the hell are these uglies playing at?
God, I hope they don't start singing.
And here I thought they couldn't look more ridiculous.
Now at least these boys have some fashion sense.
Isn't that cute? The mutants think they're in the Navy.
As if regular super mutants weren't bad enough. Now we have to find something like this?
Well, this is happening. You do see them, right?
You can find different bottle messages washed up on shores throughout the game, each containing a unique paper note. One of those notes has a title, Difficult to Kill, and it reads, "Come out to the coast, we'll get together and have a few laughs." This exact line is sarcastically said by John McClane in reference to his situation while climbing through a vent in the movie Die Hard.
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
Remember Tinker Tom, the quartermaster of the railroad? According to Fallout 4's concept art, Bethesda originally envisioned Tom as an older man with a gray beard and a variety of different high-tech goggles.
Every test Des will let me run. Full EMF scan, biological sniffers, and other state-of-the-art security. So the sweep says the Institute isn't watching you, or us.
Honestly, the original design does make more sense, since Tinker Tom holds the third highest position of leadership, and his age would make that seem more realistic. Some of you might already know that when giving the experimental serum from the Institute's FEV lab to Virgil, he will use it on himself, and when you return a couple of days later, he will be transformed back to a human.
It needs some refinement, but I think we can consider my serum a qualified success.
But something that may not be as well known is when tasked by Captain Kells to kill Virgil, you will now have the option to convince Kells to spare him, because he's a human now.
Virgil is no longer a super mutant. His cure worked. He's no threat to us.
What? That thing actually found a cure? He can't be trusted. But as a human, he's trapped in the glowing sea. Maybe he can still be an asset to us. All right, we'll continue to monitor him. For now.
In various locations, such as the Wicked Shipping Fleet lockup, there are sets of wooden blocks with the letters G, A, R, and Y. This is a reference to the Gary clones that populated Vault 108 in Fallout 3.
Gary!
The Perk magazine series titled Tales of a Junktown Jerky Vendor is a reference to an unmarked quest in Fallout 1, where the Vault Dweller discovers that Doc Morbid in Junktown has been supplying pieces of human meat that were being sold as iguana bits by Bob Frazier in the hub. Using this information, the player can blackmail Bob in giving him a large slice of his profits. There's a little mini game you can find and play on your Pit-Boy called Atomic Command, where you have to protect the landmarks of different cities around the old US from falling bombs. One of those landmarks is a New Vegas sign, and zooming in closer you can barely see the word new instead of lus. At Beaver Creek Lanes, there is a terminal entry that lists the 2078 Far Harbor Bowling League standings. The team in third place is the Holy Rollers, referencing Ned Flanders' bowling team from The Simpsons. Next to the Museum of Witchcraft, there's a hollowed out rock with a note in it and a bunch of gear. What's interesting is that the note mentions Megaton. It reads, S. Been too long. Sorry I missed you at Megaton. Looks like history repeats itself, but as promised, here's the gear I scrounged up. All the best and stay safe. The Commonwealth is its own kind of hell. E. What's cool about this note is that in Fallout 3, next to Megaton, there's also a hollowed out rock with another note titled as requested that reads, S, here's that stuff you wanted. If anyone asks where you got it, say it was a gift from your grandma. Happy hunting, E. On the in-game day of October 31st, Diamond City will be celebrating Halloween with spooky decorations everywhere.
Today's Halloween, but do we get treats? No, it's all tricks all day.
And on December 25th, they'll be celebrating Christmas.
Can you believe today's Christmas? Ho ho friggin' ho.
In Fallout 4, you can find multiple references to Fallout New Vegas, like when visiting Covenant and having Deacon as your companion, you can witness a scene between him and Deezer, a unique Mr. Handy selling lemonade, where Deacon will mention Robert House.
Let me try something. Override code Gamma 3 Delta Tango Cinnamon.
Psst. Hey, mister, do you want a cold, delicious lemonade?
Command override. Vocal, audio, House Robert. Access core programming.
You're really missing out. Enjoy a longer, healthier life with Deezer's lemonade.
Ah, too bad. I won those codes in a poker game once. Hasn't worked yet.
Robert House is the first and last name of Mr. House from Fallout New Vegas. He's also the founder of Robco Industries. That's why Deacon is using his name to try to hack the Mr. Handy. Unfortunately, these robots are made by a different company called General Atomics. In Vault 188, Gilda Brosco, a robo-brain and a former Hollywood actress, mentions Vera Keys from Dead Money's DLC, as well as the movie Love Sets Sail.
Did you know that I was supposed to star in Love Sets Sail? The only reason that bitch Vera got the part is because her uncle was the producer.
You can find posters of this movie all around the Sierra Madre Casino. One of the astonishingly awesome Tales perk magazine called Curse of the Burned features a marked man on its cover, special type of ghoul that suffers constant pain from the Lonesome Road DLC. At the end of the side quest, the Gilded Grasshopper, you will have to dig up the grave of Sheng Drown, where you will discover his remains together with bronze, silver, and gold bars. If you have Nick Valentine with you, he will comment on it and say,
So, Sheng Drown had himself buried with all his treasure. Guess some people just can't let go.
Another subtle reference to the Dead Money's DLC, where at the end of it, you're able to take a bunch of gold bars with you before you exit the Sierra Madre, and the central theme of the DLC is to let go and begin again. Before starting the quest Unlucky Valentine, you can ask Mama Murphy to use the site. She will predict your confrontation with Skinny, Malone, and Darla, and will tell you to say a certain phrase once you encounter them in the quest.
When you meet the fat man and the angry woman, tell them to remember the quarry and Lily June on the rocks, and they'll let you and your friend pass.
Wait, Skinny. Remember the quarry. Lily June on the rocks? Ring any bells?
How the hell did you know about that? Okay, you two can go. You got until the count of 10.
then I don't care what happened back in the old days. You're dead.
What are you doing, Skinny? Kill him!
No, Dollar. They get one chance to leave. Skinny Malone's putting his foot down.
She can also give you the synth deactivation code for the cursor encountered at the Green Tech Genetics.
He says Z247, initialize factory reset, authorization code Zeta 53 Kilo. And then he falls, and he's still.
Are you here for the synth?
Z247 initialize factory reset. Authorization code Zeta 53 Kilo.
How did you?
A lot of cut unused clothing can be found in Fallout 4's game files. Like for instance, did you know that Captain Kells' outfit was originally a black trench coat, and Maxon was originally intended to have a unique Brotherhood cape? There are also Brotherhood lab coats, most likely replaced by the Science Scribe armor in the final game. Vault 101 jumpsuits also exist, possibly meant to be found as an Easter egg. In the middle of the lake just north of the nucleus, there are two skeletons hanging on a floating door, a reference to one of the scenes from the movie Titanic, where the two main characters, Jack and Rose, are using a broken wooden panel to stay afloat. One of the news terminals at the Boston Bugle mentions how the US president has been evacuated to the Poseidon Energy oil rig off the coast of San Francisco, and thanks to a testimony by an anonymous highly placed source, the official designation of the oil rig is Control Station Enclave, giving credence to a long-running rumor of a secret, militarized shadow government known as the Enclave that supposedly will take control of the United States in the event of a nuclear conflagration, an obvious reference to Fallout 2, where the Chosen One is tasked to reach the Enclave oil rig and destroy it. You can also meet Dick Richardson there, the self-proclaimed president of the United States. If you drink alcohol in Fallout 4 and try to interact with NPCs, your character will sound drunk.
Hello.
Keep walking.
Hey there.
What? I'm busy.
You... Excuse me. Hey.
In the Nuka World DLC, in the Fizzy Top Mountain where the disciples are located, you can find a small guy cemented into a block, a reference to Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back, where in the movie Han Solo gets frozen in carbonite. An executive terminal in the MedTech research facility mentions the sale of Fixer, a consumable meant to help remove addiction and its side effects, found only in Fallout New Vegas. If you free Lorenzo Cabot at the end of the Secret of the Cabot House side quest, after a while you can stumble upon him in a random encounter where he claims to be traveling the Commonwealth and collecting data for his ghoul research.
Hey.
Well, well, fate brings us together again. I'm so enjoying the chance to finally experience this new world of ours.
Did you kill those people?
Oh, you mean the ones with the radiation syndrome? Yes, I did. I've been collecting data from as many people as I can find with that radiation syndrome, which seems to increase longevity. Ghouls, I think, is the colloquial term these days. The prejudice of the common folk towards the ugly and different is one thing that hasn't changed. I find it a simply fascinating subject, especially the parallels with my own condition.
Alternatively, if you kill Lorenzo, after a couple of weeks, you can return to the Cabot House, where Jack is gotten a lot older.
Mother has passed. She just couldn't survive for long without the serum.
Poor Mother. The serum was the only thing keeping her alive. But she had lived far beyond her time. It's for the best.
After completing the Silver Shroud side quest, you have a chance to encounter a delusional, would-be vigilante called Manta Man.
As soon as I have conquered the land, once more I will conquer the seas. My righteous fury is only matched by the Silver Shroud. The bombs fell before the world could learn of my sinister twin brother. Damn you, cliffhanger!
In the southern area of Bradburton, in the Nuka World DLC, you can find a small house with a Chinese officer's sword sticking into a mound of ash. This mound can be kindled into a fire, which will trigger stimpaks to fall from the air. This is a reference to Dark Souls, where when resting at a similar looking bonfire with a sword sticking out will regenerate your health. In the South Boston Police Department, there is an entry on the evidence terminal pertaining to a suspect named Nicole Conley, who is accused of the crime of Grand Theft Auto. Her name is shortened to Nico in the evidence log entries, a reference to Nico Bellic and the 2008 Grand Theft Auto 4. Knight Captain Cade on the Pridwin will sometimes say,
"Please state the nature of your medical emergency."
A reference to Starcraft, where the Terran medics say the exact same thing.
State the nature of your medical emergency.
There are a bunch of mini-games in Fallout 4 that reference different classic retro games from the 1980s, like the Red Menace Pit-Boy game that is very similar to the popular real-world Nintendo game Donkey Kong. Zeta Invaders is another minigame found on one of the desks inside Valentine's detective agency, obviously referencing the well-known arcade game Space Invaders. Atomic Command, found in the Museum of Freedom, is a reference to the Atari's Missile Command released in 1980. Automatron is another unique minigame found in the Rust Devil gaming terminal in the Fort Hagen hangar, a reference to an arcade game called Robotron 2084. Inside Hubris Comics, in a display case, we can find a unique weapon called Grognak's axe. This axe looks almost identical to the Iron Battle Axe from the Elder Scrolls Oblivion. One of the US Covert Operations Manual is titled Bushes, Boxes, and Beehives Camouflage Special, a reference to the Metal Gear series by Konami. In the Far Harbor DLC, you can cure Andre with the mysterious serum that you can obtain from the Cabots.
I know a few things about medicine. Can I try to help him?
You say, what? You? Help? Well, poor Andre's got it bad. Good is dead. Well, I suppose there's no harm letting you have a poke, but I'll be watching you.
Let's take a look.
Well, I'll be. I think you may have done it. I'll keep looking after Andre, but I think thanks to you, he's got a fighting chance.
If Travis Miles, the Diamond City radio DJ, is somehow killed, he will be replaced by Sheng Kowalski, the boy in charge of the water purifier, and will announce Travis's death on the radio.
Just because Travis is dead don't mean we shouldn't all enjoy some music. And if you'd like to enjoy some fresh, clean water, you know where to find me.
Hey, so, that Travis guy is dead? This is Sheng Kowalski, seller of fine water products. And I guess I'll play the music from now on.
Travis also has a bunch of unused voice lines that mention different removed songs and location names from the old world, like Ireland, and a song by Gene Krupa named Massachusetts.
We'll play, oh god, I'm supposed to pick the record while the other record's playing, Gene Krupa! Okay. Relax, everyone, everyone relax. This is exactly what was supposed to happen. Here's a song from Gene Krupa about a time when, well, I guess things around here were a little different. Here's Massachusetts. Here's Perry Como. Maybe most people can't relate to this one, but, well, some people can. In Ireland. Hey, remember Ireland?
A Skyrim reference can be found on one of the Taboo Tattoo magazine covers that show the iconic iron helmet at the bottom right corner. You can find bathroom scales throughout the game used as traps. If you step on them and look at the meter, it will change from 0 to the word dead. In the Pit-Boy image of the quest Nuclear Family, the depiction of Father bears an almost identical appearance to Dr. Thomas Light from the Mega Man series by Capcom. a utility pole east of Sanctuary Hills, outside of the robotics disposal ground, has a plaque that reads TES-01, a reference to the Elder Scrolls 1 arena, released in 25th of March, 1994. In the Automatron DLC, in Robco's Sales and Service Center, you can find Jangles the Moon Monkey and the Clapping Monkey playing the very first video game ever released, Pong, from 1972.